Let me tell you exactly what you will get from this video. You're going to learn the morning rituals that help me grow from waking up sad, overwhelmed, and emotionally fragile to becoming someone who starts their day with stability, clarity, and an unshakable mindset. These are simple psychology based habits that rebuild your emotional baseline and stop your mornings from controlling your entire mood and day. If you wake up anxious, lonely, or mentally heavy, this will be the most important video you watch today. Let's get into it. For a long time, I used to wake up with a heaviness I couldn't explain. It wasn't dramatic, it was subtle. A sadness that sat in my chest the moment I opened my eyes. Thoughts like, am I doing enough with my life? Why do I feel so behind? What if things never change? And then the overthinking would start. The loneliness, the self-doubt, the questioning of every decision. And here's what I didn't know at that time. Your emotional state is the first 10 minutes after waking up is the most fragile part of your entire day. Neuroscience calls it the hypnopompic state. The transition from sleep to wakefulness, where your brain is highly suggestible and more vulnerable to stress. This means if you wake up sad and immediately feed it with overthinking, you amplify it. If you wake up with anxious and jump into your phone, you reinforce it. So the goal is simple. Protect the emotional state of the first 10 minutes. Once you do that, the entire day changes. This is the first ritual that shifted everything for me. When I woke up sad, I used to react too quickly. I'd start analyzing, why am I thinking this way? What's wrong with me? But this is psychological truth most people don't know. And emotion only lasts 90 seconds unless you fuel it with thought. This is from Dr. Jill Taylor's research. That means your sadness is not the problem. Your analysis of it is. So here's what emotionally strong people do. They wake up, they notice the emotion, they do absolutely nothing. They give it 90 seconds to pass. No judgment, no thinking, no interpretation. Just breathing and waiting. For example, let's say you wake up and you start feeling lonely. Instead of asking, why am I alone, or replaying past conversations, you simply say this. This is morning emotion, not my identity. And in 90 seconds, the emotional wave calms down. This taught me something important. Emotions aren't the enemy. Overthinking is. Once the first emotional wave settles, the next danger is the mental spiral. So I started doing a 3-step grounding sequence that takes less than a minute. Sit up immediately. This stops the brain from sliding back into the emotional rumination. Place your feet on the ground. This activates proprioception, your sense of body position, which reduces anxiety. And then look at a stable object, something calm. It could be a plant, a curtain, a wall. Not your phone, not a mirror, and not a notification. I call this anchoring reality. It tells your brain you're safe, you're awake, you're here. Earlier, I used to grab my phone within seconds. One message or social media post would destroy my emotional baseline for hours. Now, by grounding myself, my mind feels less chaotic. My mornings feel cleaner. My emotions feel manageable. One thing that kept me stuck was this constant background feeling of I'm not doing enough. To fix this, I added the simplest but most identity changing ritual. Create one micro win within 5 minutes of waking. Psychology calls this behavioral activation. When the brain experiences success early, it rewires your mood for the next several hours. Your micro win can be tiny, like making your bed, drinking water, stretching for 30 seconds, putting one thing back in place, or opening the curtains. These actions don't matter individually, What matters is the identity message they send. I'm someone who moves, I'm someone who acts. Instead of lying in bed feeling overwhelmed, I started with one small action. That action created momentum. And momentum is what killed the morning sadness over time. Micro wins rebuild self-respect quietly without motivation. Sad mornings always turn worse with instant stimulation. Notifications, reels, messages, they all hijack your emotional bandwidth. So, I replaced stimulation with mental cleanliness. Before consuming anything, I would sit or lie in silence and just appreciate life the way it is. I practice gratitude just for a moment, nothing deep, nothing dramatic. I think of questions like, what is mine to carry today? What can I let go of? What deserves my energy? This is not journaling for healing, this is journaling for direction. It creates emotional protection because when you know your priorities, you don't get pulled into noise. A lot of morning sadness isn't about today, it's leftover emotional residue from yesterday. So, the final ritual is simple. I declare yesterday complete. Out loud or in my mind, I'm not carrying yesterday into today. Yesterday is done. Today starts clean. There's neuroscience behind this. The brain loves closure. When you mentally close one day, your emotional load lightens. You feel less overwhelmed, less guilty, less mentally cluttered. This ritual helped me stop waking up feeling like every day is a continuation of the same emotional battle. Let me be honest, I didn't become a different person overnight at all. I didn't wake up one morning and magically stopped feeling sad. But the improvement was massive. The kind of improvement you can feel, the kind that makes you say, I'm finally in control again. Now, my morning feels stable. My emotions don't collapse at the start of the day. I wake up clearer, stronger, and more grounded. Not perfect, but unshakable enough to move through the day with confidence. And that's the goal. Not perfection, emotional stability. The kind that grows a little more every single morning. Before we wrap up, I want to say something very honestly. I didn't create this channel because my life was perfect or because I had everything figured out. I created it because I needed a space where we could talk about the real parts of self-growth. The lonely mornings, the silent improvements no one claps for, the emotional battles we win quietly, and the slow rebuilding of a life that finally feels like our own. If my videos make you feel a little more understood, a little more grounded, or simply a little less alone in your journey, then this is exactly why this channel exists. And if you're someone who wakes up with heaviness or self-doubt or that quiet sadness you can't explain, just know this. You are not behind, you are not broken, you are simply becoming. And you don't have to do it alone. If today's video helped you in any way, I'd genuinely appreciate it if you could subscribe. It supports the channel, but more importantly, it allows us continue growing together. Because this isn't just a channel, it's a space for people who are rebuilding themselves piece by piece, morning by morning. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.